Good morning. This is the Great Basin prescribed fire and weather briefing for Wednesday, December 4th. Looking on the project map, activity across the Great Basin, very minimal. Forest Service not doing any new broadcast burns. There are still some existing pile burns. Other agencies still technically able to do burns this time of year, though. Generally, we don't see much activity. Not seeing much activity on the precipitation front. Almost no precipitation across the Great Basin. Our fuels, 100-hour fuels, still seasonably dry in the yellow. We have 11 to 15%. Otherwise, we see patches of very moist fuels across much of Nevada, 16 to 20% or even higher. Same with the central Idaho mountains, also limiting burning, as is the snowpack and snow cover. So we look at the western snowpack and we see that we're running pretty close to normal. Some areas about 20 or 30% above normal, some places about 10% below normal. By and large, though, we're looking right where we should be. Current snow cover, you can see it here in the higher elevations and some middle elevations. Darker blue is anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow, and up here in the central Idaho mountains, we're seeing more along the lines of 2 to 3 feet of snow, as well as for the high Sierra. Satellite imagery, clear skies across the region with high pressure, all the storminess in the Gulf of Alaska stretching through the central Pacific, and that's the way the pattern is going to stay. So here's the upper level map for today. An arc of high pressure building in from the west coast into much of the Great Basin, keeping things clear, light winds, poor overall ventilation. This is mid-afternoon, as good as it gets, and these purple areas, very poor air quality throughout the day, keeping the nighttime inversions going 24/7 with hazy skies, where you see the purple. Only exceptions will be in the southern third of Nevada, down into the Arizona Strip and southwest Utah. And down there, they'll have humidity down in Vegas down into the upper teens. Otherwise, humidity is above 30 or 40%. You see some breezes down in the far southern areas. That's from the north-northeast. Those tend to move down slope and dry things out. Otherwise, light winds elsewhere. Light winds on the transport front, except, again, those southern areas. Mixing heights above the ground, very poor. We see the purple, but a couple of thousand feet, 3,000 to 4,000 feet in the yellow to orange. Not much change for tomorrow. High pressure still building in. Clear, dry air mass overall. But again, the poor air quality, especially these areas in purple, actually expanding across northeast and Nevada. Humidity, same story. Light winds, again, where you see the light blues, same story. Same story in the transport winds. And not much change. We do have a deep storm system over northern Mexico, southern Arizona, accentuating the northeast winds, keeping things breezy from the northeast across southern Utah, the Arizona Strip, and southern Nevada. Otherwise, high pressure continues to build for the rest of the region with the poor air quality continuing. See some of those breezes down in the south. The breezes show pretty good on the transport level. Some of those gusts could be up to 20 or 30 miles an hour in the far south. Otherwise, light winds elsewhere. No precipitation for the next 3 days. We do see a pattern change for the weekend. A pretty strong cold front approaching the Pacific Northwest. Still high pressure weakening, but still in control on Saturday with a poor air quality. But if you want to know when the air clears out region-wide, it will be on Sunday with a passage of this strong cold front. Very strong northwest winds. And you can see all of a sudden we have this area in white. So clear blue skies. There'll be some instability clouds, maybe a light shower in the mountains, but excellent overall air quality Sunday into Monday under this trough of low pressure. And then once the trough moves out and high pressure starts building back in, we start to see a slight decrease in air quality. But even by next Tuesday, nothing as bad as what we're currently experiencing. So day 4, day 5 precipitation with that frontal passage. Some very light precipitation, mostly in the form of snow, maybe 1 to 2 inches where you see the areas in the green. And then tapers off later on early next week. This is the 7-day total. For areas in parts of the Great Basin where you have the valleys, this is for northern Utah. very poor air quality, so they recommend for some people to maybe wear a PM 2.5 or N95 mask if you have to spend time outside, especially if you have some lingering pre-existing issues. And this is the forecast for the northern Utah, specifically for Salt Lake City, for the next couple of days. The haze continues through Saturday before we clear out nicely on Sunday. A chance of rain or snow, very minimal though. The picture looks a little more ominous than it really is. And the 8 to 14, the outlook does show the hints of a pattern change with storminess returning to the Pacific Northwest, Northern Rockies, and the northern half of the Great Basin, basically along and north of the I-80 corridor, but drier than normal in the far south. This concludes our briefing. We'll have another one this Friday, and then we're going to discontinue the prescribed fire and weather briefing for the rest of December into early January as we get into the holiday season, and then pick it up sometime later in January. Have a great day.